There are seasons in life when you look around and wonder, why me? You work hard, you try your best, you pray, you keep showing up, and somehow things still don't seem to move. Doors close. People walk away. Plans fall apart. Money gets tight. Opportunity disappears. And sometimes the hardest part isn't even what you're going through. The hardest part is not understanding why you're going through it. But let me tell you something. Just because you don't understand the season doesn't mean the season has no purpose. Some of the greatest things that will ever happen in your life are going to be built during the moments when it feels like nothing is happening. You think you're being delayed, but you may actually be getting prepared. You think you're being rejected, but you may be getting redirected. You think you're losing everything, but maybe you're finally being separated from the things that were never meant to go where you're going. See, life will teach you lessons that comfort never could. When everything is easy, you don't discover how strong you really are. When everybody is cheering for you, you don't learn how to believe in yourself when nobody else does. When the money is flowing and the opportunities are everywhere, you don't learn what you're made of. But when you have to keep going with tears in your eyes, when you have to get up after disappointment, when you have to smile while your heart is heavy, that's when something is being built inside you. Character is being built, patience is being built, wisdom is being built, discipline is being built, faith is being built, and most importantly, a stronger version of you is being built. You keep asking, when is this going to change? Maybe the better question is, who am I becoming while I'm waiting for it to change? Because sometimes the blessing can't arrive until you're ready to carry it. You want the bigger opportunity, but can you handle the bigger responsibility? You want success, but can you handle the pressure that comes with success? You want the relationship, but have you learned how to love without losing yourself? You want the money, but have you learned discipline? You want the platform, but have you developed enough substance to stand on it? Sometimes God doesn't give you what you want when you want it because he knows you're not ready to hold it yet. And I know that's hard to hear when you're tired. It's hard when you've been waiting for years. It's hard when you watch somebody else get the thing you've been praying for. You see somebody else succeed and you start wondering if your opportunity passed you by. You see somebody else buying the house, getting married, building the business, traveling the world, achieving the dream, and you start thinking, maybe I'm behind. Stop measuring your life against somebody else's timeline. You don't know what they had to survive to get where they are. And they don't know what you're being prepared for. Your journey is your journey. There is a reason a tree doesn't grow overnight. There is a reason the foundation of a building is buried underground before anybody sees the beautiful structure above it. Nobody celebrates the foundation because nobody sees it. But without that foundation, the building cannot stand. And maybe that's where you are right now. Underground, unnoticed, uncelebrated. Working on things nobody can see. But don't mistake hidden for forgotten. Just because nobody sees what you're building doesn't mean nothing is being built. There are things happening in you right now that will make sense later. That heartbreak may be teaching you what you will and will not accept. That failure may be teaching you how to succeed differently. That rejection may be forcing you to discover another door. That lonely season may be teaching you how to become comfortable standing alone. That financial struggle may be teaching you discipline. That disappointment may be teaching you resilience. That waiting period may be teaching you patience. And one day you're going to look back and realize, I thought that season was breaking me, but it was building me. So don't quit because it's hard. Hard does not mean impossible. Slow does not mean never. No does not mean never. Waiting does not mean forgotten. And struggle does not mean failure. Sometimes the hardest chapter of your story is preparing you for the chapter you've been asking for. You have got to stop expecting every season to feel good. Some seasons are for growing. Some are for learning. Some are for healing. Some are for letting go. Some are for rebuilding. And some are for becoming the person you needed when you were younger. You don't have to love the season you're in, but you do have to use it. If life gives you pressure, let it produce strength. If life gives you disappointment, let it produce wisdom. If life gives you rejection, let it produce determination. If life gives you waiting, let it produce patience. Don't waste your pain. There is something powerful about a person who has been through hard times and still chooses to believe tomorrow can be better. That's strength. That's maturity. That's faith. And that's the person you are becoming. So get up, wipe your face, straighten your shoulders, take another step. You may not have everything you want right now, but you still have something powerful. Another day to work, another opportunity to learn, another chance to become stronger, another opportunity to move closer to the life you want. Don't let today's struggle convince you that tomorrow can't be different. Keep planting, keep working, keep learning, keep praying, keep showing up, keep becoming. Because the season you're complaining about today may be the season you'll be grateful for tomorrow. And when you finally reach the place you've been trying to reach, you may realize that the hardest season wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It was building your patience. It was building your courage. It was building your confidence. It was building your discipline. It was building your character. It was building the person capable of standing in the room you once prayed to enter. So if life feels heavy right now, don't assume you're losing. You might be under construction, and construction is noisy. Construction is messy. Construction is uncomfortable. Construction doesn't look beautiful while it's happening, but when the work is finished, you finally understand why the process had to look the way it did. So keep going. Your story is not over. This season is not the whole story. You are still being built. There are some seasons in your life that you would never choose for yourself. If somebody gave you a choice and said, would you like to go through this? You would probably say, absolutely not. You wouldn't choose the disappointment. You wouldn't choose the rejection. You wouldn't choose the nights when you have to sit alone with your thoughts, wondering how everything got so difficult. You wouldn't choose the moments when you give everything you have and still don't get the result you wanted. But sometimes the very thing you would never choose becomes the thing that changes you the most. You have to understand that pain has a way of introducing you to a strength you didn't know you had. When everything is comfortable, you don't have to discover what you're capable of. You can stay where you are, you can make excuses, you can keep waiting. But when life puts pressure on you, something starts happening inside you. You start finding ways to keep moving. You start realizing that you can survive things you once thought would destroy you. You discover that you're stronger than the situation you're facing. Think about the moments that almost broke you. Think about the days when you didn't know how you were going to make it through. You made it. Maybe you didn't make it perfectly. Maybe you cried. Maybe you struggled. Maybe you had doubts, but you kept breathing. You kept getting up. You kept taking another step. That matters. You don't become strong because life becomes easy. You become strong because life gets difficult and you refuse to stay down. Sometimes you are asking God to remove the pressure when the pressure is actually producing something in you. You are asking for the storm to stop while the storm is teaching you how to stand. You are asking for the mountain to disappear while climbing that mountain is developing muscles you are going to need later. You keep saying, why am I going through this? Maybe the better question is, what is this teaching me? What is this disappointment teaching you about yourself? What is this setback teaching you about discipline? What is this rejection teaching you about persistence? What is this lonely season teaching you about becoming comfortable with yourself? What is this struggle teaching you about what really matters? Because if you learn the lesson, the pain doesn't have to be wasted. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can control what you allow it to produce in you. You can allow pain to make you bitter, or you can allow it to make you better. You can allow disappointment to convince you to quit, or you can allow it to sharpen your determination. You can let rejection destroy your confidence, or you can use it as fuel to keep developing yourself. There is something powerful about a person who has been knocked down and still gets back up. There is something powerful about somebody who has lost and still believes they can win. There is something powerful about somebody who has been disappointed by people and still refuses to become a person without a heart. That's what strength looks like. Strength isn't pretending that nothing hurts. Strength is admitting that it hurts and deciding you're still going to move forward. Strength is waking up when you don't feel motivated. Strength is doing the work when nobody is applauding. Strength is believing in your future when your present doesn't look anything like the future you imagined. And don't underestimate what your difficult season is doing for you right now. You may think you're just trying to survive, but you're developing endurance. You may think you're just trying to get through another day, but you're learning consistency. You may think you're being delayed, but you're developing patience. You may think you're losing, but you're learning how to recover. One day, you're going to need everything this season is teaching you. The confidence you are building now will help you walk into rooms you once felt unqualified to enter. The resilience you are developing now will help you handle challenges that would have overwhelmed the old version of you. The patience you are learning now will help you wait for opportunities without destroying yourself with frustration. So don't be ashamed of the struggle. Don't hide the fact that you've had difficult days. Don't look at your scars as proof that you are weak. Sometimes the scars are proof that you survived. You are not the same person you were before the storm. You have learned things you could not have learned in comfort. You have discovered strength you could not have discovered without pressure. You have developed a deeper understanding of yourself because life forced you to look inward. The pain may not have been something you wanted, but it can still become something useful. Keep going when it's difficult. Keep showing up when nobody notices. Keep working when the results are slow. Keep believing when doubt gets loud. Keep building when you cannot see the finished product. Because sometimes the pressure you're under is not there to destroy you. It's there to produce the strength you are going to need for everything that is coming next. There is a trap that can steal your peace without you even realizing it. And that trap is comparison. You look at somebody else's life, and suddenly you start questioning your own. You see somebody getting married while you're still waiting. You see somebody buying a house while you're trying to pay your bills. You see somebody building a successful business while you're still trying to figure out your next move. You see somebody celebrating a dream you have been praying about for years, and suddenly you start thinking that you must be behind. But let me tell you something you need to understand. You are not behind just because somebody else got there before you. Everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different starting point. Everybody has different responsibilities, different obstacles, different lessons, and different timing. You cannot take somebody else's chapter 10 and compare it to your chapter 3 and then call yourself a failure. That's not fair to you. Sometimes you don't realize how much progress you have already made because you're too busy looking at where somebody else is. You forget how far you've come. You forget the things you survived. You forget the person you used to be. You forget the dreams you once had that are now part of your reality. You have to learn how to celebrate your own progress. Your life is not a race against everybody around you. You don't have to arrive at the same time as somebody else. You don't have to have the same house, the same career, the same relationship, the same amount of money, or the same opportunities. What matters is that you are moving in the direction you are supposed to go. Somebody else's success does not cancel your potential. Read that again in your mind. Just because somebody else got the opportunity doesn't mean your opportunity disappeared. Just because somebody else got the promotion doesn't mean there isn't a place for you. Just because somebody else's business is growing doesn't mean yours can't grow. Just because somebody else found love doesn't mean you have been forgotten. Sometimes your season requires more preparation, and preparation takes time. You don't see the roots of a tree growing underground, but that doesn't mean the tree isn't growing. You don't see everything happening behind the scenes in somebody's life, and they don't see everything happening behind the scenes in yours. Stop rushing your process because you're watching somebody else's progress. There is nothing wrong with being inspired by someone else's success. Let it motivate you, but don't let it make you feel worthless. Use their success as evidence that possibilities exist, not evidence that you have failed. Your journey may take longer because you're building something different. Your path may have more obstacles because you are developing something deeper. Your delay may be preparing you for responsibilities you aren't ready to carry yet. Sometimes what looks like being late is actually being prepared. You don't want to arrive at the destination before you've developed the character to stay there. You don't want success that you cannot manage. You don't want opportunities that destroy you because you weren't ready for the responsibility attached to them. So instead of asking, why don't I have what they have? Start asking, what do I need to do to become who I need to become? That question changes everything. Focus on your work. Focus on your growth. Focus on your discipline. Focus on your goals. Focus on becoming better than the person you were yesterday. You cannot build your future while constantly staring at somebody else's life. And social media will make this even harder because everybody shows you the highlight reel. You see the vacation, but you don't see the sacrifices. You see the new car, but you don't see the years of work. You see the celebration, but you don't see the failures that came before it. Never compare your behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight reel. Your life has its own clock. There are things that may happen quickly, and there are things that may take years. That doesn't mean one person is blessed and another person isn't. It means life is different for everybody. Trust your process. Keep working, keep preparing, keep improving, keep showing up. And when your opportunity finally arrives, you won't have to apologize for taking your time. You won't have to explain why your journey looked different. You won't have to prove that you deserved it. You will simply know that every delay, every setback, every lonely night, every unanswered question, and every season when you thought nothing was happening was developing you for the moment when your time finally came. Your timeline doesn't have to look like anybody else's. You just have to keep moving forward on yours. Sometimes the door closes and you immediately think your life is falling apart. You applied for the opportunity and didn't get it. You gave your heart to somebody and they walked away. You started something you believed in and it didn't work. You reached for something you thought was meant for you and somehow it slipped right through your hands. In those moments, rejection feels personal. It feels like somebody is telling you that you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, you're not worthy enough, or you're simply not meant to have the thing you wanted. But rejection does not always mean you were denied your future. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes the door closes because you keep trying to force yourself into a room that was never designed for you. You are looking at the closed door thinking, why won't they let me in? While life is trying to get your attention and say, stop knocking on that door and turn around. You have to learn how to recognize the difference between a closed door and the end of your journey. A closed door can be a direction. Think about how many times you were disappointed about something that didn't happen, only to discover later that something better was waiting for you. At the time, you couldn't see it. All you could see was what you lost. You didn't understand why the relationship ended. You didn't understand why the job disappeared. You didn't understand why the plan failed. You didn't understand why the opportunity went to somebody else. Then time passed. And suddenly you realized that what you thought was rejection was actually redirection. That's why you cannot allow one no to define your entire future. One person saying no does not mean everybody will say no. One company rejecting you does not mean you're unemployable. One failure does not mean you're a failure. One relationship ending does not mean you're unlovable. One dream changing does not mean your life has lost its purpose. You have to stop giving temporary moments permanent meanings. Sometimes rejection hurts because your heart was attached to a specific outcome. You had already imagined the future. You had already planned the life. You had already pictured yourself standing on the other side of that opportunity. And when it doesn't happen, you feel lost. But maybe the problem isn't that you lost your future. Maybe you lost the future you imagined. There is a difference. Your life can still become beautiful even when it doesn't follow the plan you created. You have to trust yourself enough to keep moving when the plan changes. Rejection can teach you things acceptance never could. It can teach you resilience. It can teach you patience. It can teach you how to improve. It can force you to look at yourself honestly and ask, what can I do better? It can push you to develop skills you ignored. It can make you stronger. Don't waste rejection by sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. Feel it, learn from it, and keep moving. If you didn't get the job, improve your skills and apply again. If the business failed, study what went wrong and build differently. If someone walked away, give yourself time to heal and then keep living. If one door closed, stop standing in front of it and start looking for another one. You don't need every door to open. You only need the right one. And sometimes the right door won't look like the door you originally wanted. That's why you have to stay open. Stay willing to change direction. Stay willing to learn. Stay willing to start again. Stay willing to admit that maybe your original plan wasn't the best plan. You may be disappointed today because you cannot see what tomorrow is bringing. Don't make a permanent decision based on temporary disappointment. Keep your head up. Keep working. Keep believing. Keep preparing. Because the door that closed may have forced you to walk toward the door that was actually meant for you. And one day you may look back at the rejection that broke your heart and realize it was the moment your life changed direction, the moment you stopped chasing what wasn't yours, the moment you discovered what you were really capable of, and the moment you finally started walking toward the opportunity that had been waiting for you. There is a mistake people make when life gets difficult. They spend so much time wishing they were somewhere else that they forget to use the season they are actually in. You start saying, when things get better, I'll get serious. When I have more money, I'll start. When I get the opportunity, I'll prepare. When everything settles down, I'll work on myself. But life doesn't always give you perfect conditions before it asks you to grow. You have to learn how to use the season you're in. If you're struggling right now, don't just ask when the struggle will end. Ask what the struggle can teach you. If you are waiting right now, don't spend every day complaining about the waiting. Ask yourself what you can build while you wait. If you don't have the opportunity yet, prepare yourself so thoroughly that when the opportunity arrives, you are ready. Because preparation doesn't begin when the opportunity appears. Preparation begins when nobody is watching. There are seasons when you're going to have to work without applause. Nobody will congratulate you for waking up early. Nobody will celebrate you for saving money. Nobody will give you a trophy for learning a new skill, staying disciplined, or choosing not to quit. But those quiet decisions are building the person you are becoming. Don't waste a quiet season. Use it. If you have more time than money, use your time. Learn something. Read. Practice. Build your skills. Improve your character. Create something. If you don't have the connections you want, become the kind of person people want to connect with. If nobody is giving you an opportunity, create a smaller opportunity for yourself and start there. You don't perfect circumstances to make progress. You need a decision. A lot of people are waiting for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. Discipline will take you places motivation cannot. There will be days when you don't feel like doing the work. There will be mornings when you don't want to get up. There will be moments when you wonder whether your effort is worth it. Do the work anyway. Your future is being built by what you repeatedly do in ordinary days. Stop thinking that your life only matters when something exciting happens. Some of the most important work you will ever do will happen when nobody knows your name. It will happen in your bedroom, your office, your small business, your notebook, your training sessions, your early mornings, and your late nights. That's where the foundation gets built. And foundations are not glamorous. Nobody looks at a building and gets excited about the concrete underneath it. But without that foundation, everything above it is in danger. Your difficult season can be your foundation. Maybe you're learning how to manage money because you don't have much of it. Maybe you're learning patience because everything is taking longer than expected. Maybe you're learning confidence because you have to make decisions without everyone agreeing with you. Maybe you're learning independence because some people you counted on are no longer there. Use it. Don't waste your struggle. If life gives you disappointment, turn it into wisdom. If life gives you failure, turn it into experience. If life gives you loneliness, turn it into an opportunity to learn yourself. If life gives you extra time, turn it into preparation. You may not be able to control the season, but you can control what you do inside it. That's where your power is. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect to start becoming better. You don't have to wait until somebody believes in you. You don't have to wait until the circumstances change. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start with what you know. Then learn what you don't know. Every day you spend preparing is a day your future self will be grateful for. So stop fighting the season you're in and start using it. Maybe this isn't the season of celebration. Maybe it's the season of preparation. Maybe this isn't the season when everybody sees your success. Maybe it's the season when you're building the strength that will make your success sustainable. Maybe this isn't the season when the door opens. Maybe it's the season when you become ready to walk through it. Don't despise the season because it doesn't look like the destination. Use it. Grow in it. Learn in it. Build in it. Work in it. And when the next season arrives, you won't have to wish you had used this one differently. There are moments in life when you look at yourself and wonder why you haven't become the person you thought you would be by now. You had a plan. You had a timeline. You thought certain things would happen by a certain age, at a certain time, in a certain way. But life doesn't always follow the schedule you created. Sometimes you feel stuck. Sometimes you feel behind. Sometimes you look at your mistakes and wonder if you've ruined your chances. But you need to understand something. You are still under construction. You are not finished. That means you don't have to have everything figured out today. You don't have to know every answer. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have your entire future mapped out. You are allowed to learn. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to start over. Construction is messy. When a building is being constructed, it doesn't look beautiful every day. There are tools everywhere. There is dust. There is noise. There are unfinished walls. There are holes where doors will eventually be. If you looked at the building halfway through the process, you might think it was a disaster. But the builder knows what is happening. And maybe your life feels like that right now. Maybe things look unfinished. Maybe there are areas you are still trying to repair. Maybe you have made mistakes you wish you could take back. Maybe there are parts of your life that don't make sense yet. That doesn't mean the story is over. It means the work is still happening. You have to stop judging your entire life based on one unfinished chapter. Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you're a mistake. Just because you failed doesn't mean you are a failure. Just because you are struggling doesn't mean you are losing. Sometimes struggle is simply evidence that you are still growing. Look at how much you have already survived. There were moments you thought you couldn't get through, and somehow you did. There were days you didn't know what to do next, and you found a way. There were people you thought you couldn't live without, and you learned how to keep going. There were disappointments that felt like the end, and eventually you discovered they were only another chapter. That is evidence that you are stronger than you think. Don't rush the construction. You don't want a life that looks finished but has no foundation. You don't want quick success that collapses under pressure. You don't want to become successful without becoming strong enough to handle success. Let the process develop you. Let the difficult days teach you patience. Let your failures teach you wisdom. Let your responsibilities teach you discipline. Let your mistakes teach you humility. Let your challenges teach you courage. You are being built from the inside out. And sometimes the greatest changes are invisible. Nobody can see you becoming more disciplined. Nobody can see the way you are learning to control your emotions. Nobody can see the way you're becoming more patient. Nobody can see the private battles you're winning. but those invisible victories matter. Keep working on yourself even when nobody notices. Keep learning, keep growing, keep correcting your mistakes, keep trying again, keep becoming better. Don't let somebody else's finished looking life make you ashamed of your unfinished process. You don't know what is happening behind their walls, and they don't know what is happening behind yours. Your responsibility is not to finish before everybody else. Your responsibility is to keep building. There will be days when you feel like nothing is changing, but construction doesn't always show visible progress every day. Sometimes the most important work is happening beneath the surface. The foundation is getting stronger. The structure is becoming stronger. The weak places are being repaired. The plans are being adjusted, and the person you are becoming is learning how to carry the future you keep asking for. So don't give up on yourself because you're not where you want to be yet. Yet is a powerful word. You're not there yet. You're not finished yet. You haven't reached your full potential yet. Your best opportunities may not have arrived yet. Your greatest growth may still be ahead. You are still under construction, and unfinished does not mean unsuccessful. It means there is still work to do. So keep showing up for yourself. Keep making the next right decision. Keep taking the next step. Keep building even when the blueprint isn't completely clear. Because one day you'll look back at the version of yourself who struggled through this season, and you'll realize that the person you were becoming was being built in every difficult moment, every setback, every lesson, every early morning, every lonely night, and every decision to keep going when quitting would have been easier.